Hello and welcome to the first Hyundai on my channel. Well, isn't she a bit of a looker? i30N, it looks fairly understated. And no, I did not paint those brakes red and put a spoiler on this car. There's a reason behind it, and that reason is sitting right under this bonnet. This, ladies and gentlemen, ain't a boring Hyundai. There's a lot more to it, but look-wise, well, it's a blend somewhere between the slightly sleepy Golf GTRI and the screaming Renault Megane RS. But the Koreans have proven you don't have to overcomplicate things to make them look good, because this car is looking young, fresh, sporty and sexy. But let's hit the road, wake up some of these quiet Swiss villages and give this car what it deserves. I've got top-of-the-range engine, surprise, surprise, 2-litre petrol, which produces 275 horsepower and a torque of 350 Nm. With an overboost, you can get an extra 20 Nm of torque. This is a front-wheel drive, 6-speed manual gearbox, and it is a proper hot hatch because it is pretty quick. It goes 0 to 100 in 6.1 seconds. The maximum speed is 250 kilometers an hour. Very useful for racetrack. Speaking of racetrack, Hyundai designed this car to be a, perfect, quiet kitten daily driver and a wildcat on a racetrack. They've got the ex-BMW M lad, Albert Biermann, who has essentially created a BMW M front-wheel drive. This car is so solid. It is so confident in the way it handles the road. It acts like an upper shell vehicle. Of course, we've got different driving modes. We've got Eco, Normal and Sport. And then you have this magic button called Racetrack. And from a quiet little kitten, it becomes a wild cat. It's got so much fire. The boot size has been slightly reduced from 395 litres to still a very solid 381 litres. And that is because you've got that panel here that stiffens the body, which is very important on the racetrack. But God almighty, you can still carry plenty of groceries in this speed rocket. The steering is sporty, it is very precise, it is quite stiff. I've heard some people saying it's not that on point. Let me tell you this, when you're driving through mountain passes in Switzerland, you know exactly when the steering is not precise, and this is definitely not the case with the i30N. The suspension, the same goes for suspension, hard, sporty. However, in the normal mode, it is surprisingly comfortable. It manages to absorb most of the bumps and imperfection. Some of the hot hatches are definitely harder, so this is it's still sporty, so don't expect lushness and softness here. It's still a hot hatch. Now the visibility is pretty good as well. The rear window is exposed at maximum, so you have a good visibility there. The side here, front, very good as well. Probably the side mirrors could be a little bit larger, but not much to complain about. Now let's talk about the sound, or the noise, I should say. So in an eco or normal sport mode, it actually feels like a perfect daily driver. It's not much noise coming through. Of course, when you put it to sport, you wake up this beast a little bit, but it's still very, very nice. It's a perfect balance between, I suppose, sportiness and a bit of that and comfort. I suppose on the racetrack, the situation changes quite dramatically. So if you like this video, before I even finish, make sure you give me a thumbs up and leave a nice comment, say it was all wonderful. Hopefully this one I can convince Hyundai to let me drive this on a racetrack. And visiting the passenger seat, I don't know how much you can see because the sun is so strong today. I actually should be in my bikini, never mind, next time. But there's plenty of headroom and a fair amount of legroom. Overall, a very pleasant place to be.
Living life like a high life. Everything is yours.
The engine is supplied with twin-scroll turbocharger, which honestly picks up like a fire. It doesn't know what a turbo lag actually is. She's like a quintessential woman who responds to every single stroke, well, in that case, a stroke of your foot. It's just the revs are going up so fast, it is very, very easy to miss a gear or two, especially when you're such an experienced manual gearbox driver such as myself. Oh dear. But worry not, just like in a race car, you've got the digital display which tells you, get it up there. Let's have a look at fuel consumption, shall we? I'm getting an average of 8.7 liters. Climbing up this very high mountain, 2,000 meters high, on a fairly flat surface, fairly flat, I was getting about 7 liters. And what is this? This is nothing for such a wild cat who is climbing this mountain with those sharp and very strong claws, not to mention the stamina. Honestly, I would be really a whinging cow if I wanted to say something negative about the way this car drives. It is an absolute rocket. It's a proper hot hatch.
Until the beats start again, oh and then.
Hyundai prices its top-of-the-range i30N at 37,000 Swiss francs, which is more or less an equivalent to the US dollar. Now, we know when Hyundai does it, it means something big, something good, and it really is. This is a proper hot hatch. It's a wild cat, and I bet it's even wilder on a racetrack. You know, it is sporty, sexy, fast. It's like a beautiful woman who is confident, very practical, and not afraid of fire. In fact, she's all fire. And on that note, it's time to wrap it up. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. As always, I look forward to hearing from you. A big thank you to Nicolas from Hyundai Switzerland for lending me this beauty. And I hope I'm going to see it on a racetrack to see what it is really capable of. Or shall I say, what I am capable of. Oh my goodness. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!